Hello everyone, welcome back to Mechanorn where we talk about giant robots and all that. I have Jero with me.
Hey, Fosh.
Hey, what's up? And as per usual, the same shows and gonna jump right into Alnoa Season 2.
Yes, episode 3, Tool for the Brave, Pivoting Trap. So we see some more action in this episode between the Earthlings and Martians, and we see some. We start with a scene about with Magbarej and Inaho. They're playing chess, but they're not looking at the board. Isn't on the screen. They're just kind of telling their moves, and the girl, I'm blanking on her name.
Yeah, I don't know her
The
name
girl
either.
that can't get a date.
Yeah, right.
She's keeping it, and they're kind of talking about his eye and whether he's using that to sort of figure out what the best moves are. And they're talking about him wanting to still be on the battlefield, even though they kind of see value in keeping him alive with his eye and how that's affected him. But as we've seen through the first 15 episodes of this series, he's the only one that can really fight out there.
Right, and my speculation was that going into the season that if he was really seriously hurt, like he lost a limb or an arm or a leg, that he
Mhm.
would be more in a command role because, like Murad Bartarishi said, he's a good strategist. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the eye
Mhm.
even doubles that, or maybe triples his brain processing power to, plan ahead. And it's kind of interesting. We see a lot of that in this episode with other characters. I'll talk about that later, but yeah, just that moment between them playing chess was, I guess, a test to show what he would do, and I guess I don't know if he won that game or not, but he got very, real close to winning. But
Yeah.
yeah, so like you said, she doesn't want him fighting, but he's like, I have to, because, like you said, he's the only one that actually can. Sadly.
Yeah. And they also talk about how he acquired the All-Noah energy, and they don't think it's Salem's blood that we saw splattered on him when in that final scene at the end of episode 12 in season 1. But that's when, it's something we've already seen because the anime directly referenced it when he used the All-Noah energy, is that when he was administering CPR to Salem was when he acquired it.
Right, and even before with Slain, he had that dormant power. The same as when she, gave him CPR, and when he first arrived in Mars. So you have that whole, like you said, they even hinted way earlier that there's other ways to transfer the power. And the blood, I always thought was going to be it, but yeah, I guess they kind of, nipped that. Like, nope, it's not the blood, it's something else, which is fine.
Hmm. Yeah. And then we get to Slain, and he's up there. He's got this other guy, Hark Knight, Hark Light, that follows him around. And he's kind of he's going to be his second command for people that have, you're already watched the episode, you know what happens. But these two other knights get on his case, and Slain is kind of just he's not being combative with them. And then that's when Sawsbomb comes in and says, this kid is my son now.
Yeah, declaring it in front of everybody, just like,
Yeah.
attention, this is my new son. I was just kind of like, caught off guard, but I was like, well, these two have been kind of, there's a love-hate relationship between them, and
Mhm.
now with all the crap that's gone on recently, they kind of have no choice but to, I guess, go through with this. And I mean, even Slane, I mean, I guess maybe Salzbaum sees his potential in him, that he can do something, and he was, like he said, he's being harassed by those two guys, and I loved how quickly they shut up as soon as Salzbaum showed up. It was just like, they're like, whatever, and he kind of stomped off. Like, they're kind of
Mhm.
just, because, they're mad that obviously he's a Terran, he's not from their world and all this, so in a way they're kind of like, well, this is kind of screwed up.
Yeah, and it sets up the first opportunity for Slain to work toward betraying Sawsbomb. We know that even though he is for this war now, and he's talking about eradicating the Earth and all that,
Hmm.
that it's more that he cares about Asylum than anything else. And he's going to use the resources that are available to him as much as possible. But at the end of the day, Asylum is number one on his list.
Well, that, and I was gonna say maybe the lower classes of the Martians, he's trying to help them out too. Cause I know his servant was made a comment that he's a low class citizen. He's not even
Mhm.
really supposed to be near these nobles or anything. but just because Slane's there, he gets his opportunity to do that. So Slane, I think, feels a little bit bad for the guy that's following him around. That maybe I should change the system up. That way, even the lower class can fight for their I guess their planet. So it's kind of cool. I guess seeing that.
And then we get to some action with Trident and the Marineros bases are pretty close to each other, and then that's when they get involved in some fights. We see Inoho out there. He's shooting enemies, and that's when Slane comes out in his, oh shoot, what is it called? His mech, Slane's mech. Thanatos?
I think so.
Farsis.
Yeah,
Farsis.
okay.
Yeah, and then that's when we see a scene earlier with Inoho where he's thinking that, is Slane able to see in the future? And then that's when he realizes with fighting Farsis that he can use it, that he's got some prediction software in there that's helping him out.
Yeah, and that part was a little weird seeing him because he's talking to himself essentially. And there was a part where I think that I actually talked back to him. So I'm like, maybe it's part AI in his eyeball too, because it was like made a kind of like R2-D2 sound effect from Star Wars. And I was just like,
yeah, they showed it like a close up and it did the move thing.
Yeah, so it's a little weird that maybe it's got a mind of its own, that maybe it's helping him. But I mean, if he lost half his brain, I guess that would make sense. But we don't really know the details of what happened to Iniho as far as his injuries. But yeah, it was kind of weird seeing that, and maybe he can predict the future. I mean, we've seen this in all kinds of Gundam, the new types. He can predict slight changes in the future, and we're starting to see that with Slane and Iniho definitely this week.
Yeah. And then while Farsis and Inoho are fighting, that is when Saucebomb appears with a refurbished Dioscuria too, and just like we saw with the bowl cut guy from the very beginning, with that shield that seems very impenetrable, Saucebomb makes it a point to say, "I've changed the spot, the weak spot on it."
Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's almost like the shonen equivalent to like, I need to learn a new move, haha. Like, it's the same move but slightly different.
Yeah.
And with him saying, "Oh, it changed," like you shouldn't have said anything. You idiot.
Yeah, because then it's only going to make Inoho curious as to
Where it's at.
where is that weak spot? Because you would think that they'd be familiar enough with this guy that's been just taking care of knights with the greatest of ease, even in a trainer mech. The bad guys just aren't very smart.
Yeah, even with his new refurbished version, it's massive. It's like 2 of Inoho's mechs combined. It's just huge. It's very bulky, but in space, I guess it doesn't matter. But still, it's like, yeah, you do kind of roll your eyes at some of these villains. They're like, you just said I moved the spot, so you just clearly told them it's changed. So good job.
Yeah. And then this next part, it's all about like the timing was absolutely perfect at all these chips fell into place for everybody. Where Inoho was in trouble. Inko was on the scene. He was able to save him just as a micro meteoroid shower hits, and then that disables Dioscuria, and then that's when Slane says, "I actually shot that at the start of the battle, and it was supposed to go around," and then he basically planned out that Saucebomb would be in that spot, and then a second round comes, and then that's when we see Saucebomb die.
Right, he was telling basically that. Cause I was curious in the beginning. He was shooting that thing off the random direction. I just thought he was testing a weapon, maybe testing a change he altered. But nope, he was setting it all up from the beginning. So it makes you wonder how many. We always joke with Shiro and from Log Horizon how he's 10 steps ahead of everybody. So I was like, is this guy, Slane, able to do the same thing, like plan so advanced far ahead that he can? Oh, I set the spirit trap up. But I guess he did reveal that was for Inoho originally, but a Saucebomb's there, so it's like, might as well use it while you're there.
Yeah, and I'm kind of concerned about, with Inoho being able to see things and Farsis with Slane being able to see things. I'm wondering what kind of precedent that's setting for the series is, because now it seems like I'm going to be watching every episode just kind of expecting things to happen because, I'm going to be in my head going, okay, I'm like 20 minutes ahead of where we're at in the episode, kind of seeing the outcomes.
Right, yeah. I hope they don't do that like a recurring thing, but yeah, I can agree on that. And just seeing how both characters are kind of even now as far as power goes. It
Hmm.
kind of is not as exciting as it used to be because I know, even in the past, he would win, but it was just how he won. He had a quick thinking you have to do to fight these Martians, but now it's like they're both even ground now.
And they're too busy trying to sell the rivalry to me when I don't think you need to sell it any more than you already did in the
Hmm.
last episode. They keep talking about Doctor Slain, Slain Troyard and Inaho Kaizuka. Like, we know that they're rivals, and we know that they're going to be having many battles and battles of wits against each other. So,
Right. And I almost want to throw it out there and be like, are they really rivals? Because have they really done much between each other? Not a whole lot, really, honestly. I mean, the only thing that
mhm,
happened was, Salem got killed, and Slane might have killed her. So it's like almost in a way a revenge story for both of them that they both gotta get back at each other for what they did to Salem. So it's almost like I really don't feel this rivalry, but I know they're setting it up, like you said. They are drilling in everyone's skull that these two don't like each other. It's obvious. We know that by now. But
mhm.
yeah, I just don't know. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, their rivalry is really not that concrete right now. It's like, oh, a girl they like got killed, maybe. That's about
Yeah.
it. So it's like, they really have no reason to get mad at each other besides being on opposite factions. It's war,
Yeah.
whatever.
And on the subject of girl getting killed, after all of this transpires, Slain becomes a count of the Verse Empire, and he's on TV talking about, marching the Martians to attack Earth and all that stuff. And Inaho's looking at the video, which is like very shaky video, and he's able to confirm from his speech that Salem is alive.
Right, but it's studying the speech pattern and all this stuff he said. It's like, also makes you wonder maybe if Slane did it on purpose, knowing Inaho's watching, to, growl him up, get him mad. But
Hmm.
obviously we all know that he's not have to do that. He's not gonna react on these emotions. But yeah, now that we have a Slane as the count, it kind of made me think: did he plan all this in advance? Like I'm gonna be adopted by him, and this, that, and then I'm gonna kill him, and then I'm gonna become this, the count of this place. And it's like I don't know how far he planned ahead if he knew all that was gonna happen.
Hmm.
If he
Yeah,
did,
it
then whoa, that's crazy.
it just makes Salzbaum look a fool more than anything else for so easily sort of accepting Slain and then
Right.
making him his son. It's like
That seems to be
he's set up
the theme with him right now with Slane. He's this master trickster. He's tricking
Mhm.
everybody, and he's got the fake princess under his thumb. He's got everyone, bowing down to him when he's just like lying behind their backs, like being very sneaky. But it's like eventually, I think that's gonna come back and bite him. All the lies
which
he's telling.
which I wouldn't have gotten from his character
Hmm.
in the early part of season one. I almost I'm just thinking out loud, like, it was that a natural progression of his character to reach this point that we're seeing in season two, where he's a smart, cunning, and sort of a conniving guy, as we've seen in this episode.
I think a little bit of it. I mean, when the first guy, he did kill that first guy. Who kind of lied to him that, oh, we found the princess, whatever, and kind of put the
Yeah.
guy's guard down. He was like, what? And he killed him. So it's I guess showing maybe slowly progression of him turning this almost manipulative character. But yeah, the change is very fast in season two. But I
Hmm.
know he did have the promise that he was gonna find out who was to blame for trying to kill Salem the first time. So I guess he's kind of stuck to that promise somewhat, sort of. By becoming this new leader now, you can maybe find out who's really on his side, who's not.
Hmm. And some extra stuff from this episode. Slain, you mentioned Shiroi from Log Horizon, our
Hmm.
other talk show. Um, he's got that kind of planning a few steps ahead. Um, Slane's more thanks to technology, whereas Shiro is just laying out. He's got everything planned out.
Right, yeah, it seems weird. Like I guess they made a hint at the beginning of the chess game, saying that maybe he's planned these moves ahead in his mind. So have Slane doing the same thing in the
Yeah.
beginning, slowly, a different way. Even though like I would think, but people want to say, shooting bullets off the random direction and hoping it uses the gravity of Earth is kind of
Hmm.
far-fetched. Which, yeah, I would agree it is, but you know, this is of course, I'll know they do a lot of weird things.
Yeah. And The insert song they used again this week, very good. Wondering if there's going to be a second soundtrack because most of the music that we hear in the show is very much what we heard in the first soundtrack. But maybe if there are new musical pieces that we might get like a smaller OST too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, or maybe the original case was it was always intended to be a 25 episode series, but the split core kind of screwed that up. And yeah, I was saying during that moment, the song I thought it was cool that there was cool moments when he was using his like almost like Attack on Titan 3D maneuver on his mech, going swinging from meteor to meteor. It was pretty cool, I think. A little cheesy, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And rest in peace, Sauce Bomb. You will not be missed.
No, because you're an idiot. It's like you tried to kill Slane once, didn't work. You tried to interrogate him, failed. So it's like really you only to blame is yourself for getting yourself killed like that. So, well.
On the whole, this is my favorite episode that we've seen of the second season so far. I kind of feel like it's starting to come into its own, and Slane is more clearly defined by this point in what his character is. Yeah, I feel like a lot of this stuff. I still want to see Marito back and Yuki. We haven't really seen them much at all this season. I hope they come back and play a role in things because as it is right now, Inoho and Slane are really the only interesting things going.
Yeah, right now, and like I said, this episode just definitely established that Slane will do whatever it takes to win, even killing his own quote-unquote adopted father, to get what he wants. And yeah, it's kind of cool just seeing him. I was a little bit shocked they would go that far, but also just seeing him just, I guess, kind of plan things out like that is kind of crazy. But yeah, I hope they continue that with Slane. Just seeing how far he will really go for this. It makes you wonder, would he ever go as far as to kill the king of Mars to get rid of everybody with the power? I don't know.
Yeah. We saw a very small thing of the scene with Fred and Anko where they were passing by and they were talking about a Martian. More just reaffirmation from her. Martians are the enemies, and then she protects one of those guys, and it just felt like nothing really new there as far as other than just reaffirming her commitment to the cause of Martians are the enemy, and she'll even save her own teammates.
Right, I took it as like a big F you to that guy because he was just like, oh, you're a girl, you're a Martian, and she's like saved him just when she should have been like, good thing I was here to save your ass or something like that. Good thing you relied on this Martian. But yeah, that was and I see the girls, they're kind of bonding a little bit. That was kind of nice just seeing that. And even though I don't know if they're gonna be really good friends, but who knows? Maybe they might change her. They did kind of make fun of her being a little bit of tsundere in the episode. It was kind of funny.
All right, and that has been episode 3 of All No Zero.
Yep, and next is Gundam Build Fighters, episode 15, Reborn Tri-Fighters, and episode title kind of tells you that things are going to be changing for this team, and we have the tournament starting right away. It's kind of surprising how fast they jump into that, but it was pretty good with, I think, 10 episodes left, which, again, it's depressing, but it's fine. And so, yeah, going into that, the tournament starting, and all these teams are just gathering and getting ready to fight each other, and this is funny just seeing all these, like, rivalries pop up, and everyone's trying to show off, and, like, but this is the main team that walks in, everyone's just like, oh, they're here, and they just stop doing what they're doing to watch them.
Yeah, and only Seikai has the gall to go up to Wilfred and talk to him and challenge him.
Right, and everyone else is just like, oh my god, yeah, that's so-and-so. It's just ridiculous. And, yeah. And think about the beginning, we had, Meiji and Lady kind of at this monument. I guess that's where the old stadium was. Not to do any spoilers, but I guess something happened last season that, I guess they had to change the stadium around. So they, I guess, built this monument in remembrance of the old stadium that was there. Yep. And I took it as like a CSI moment, when they're doing this stupid little catchphase and, they take the glasses off. It was just like this weird yeah, exactly. The sunrise up at the right time, and it's just, I couldn't stop laughing when I seen that, but it was just weird to me.
Yeah,
kind of.
always funny when you see Meiji without his glasses and the hair just goes down.
Uh-huh. Because he did that in season 1. He does that. He's got his hair down. He just kind of slicks his hair with his hand, and his hair stands up by itself. Kind of like Aizen from Bleach. If you ever seen that scene where he's revealing who he really is, it's just so ridiculous. And
Mhm.
we have Minato kind of hiding because he don't want you to find him, and they find each other, and it's kind of a comical moment to seeing these two kind of get on each other's cases for, oh, you
Yeah.
lied, you're gonna be here and all this.
Yeah, Minato wanted the confrontation of those two to be much cooler than, hey, I see you hiding there, and then goes in the elevator, doesn't even push a button. Yeah, that was a really funny scene.
Yeah, again with them playing around with like expressions and art style and stuff like that.
Hmm.
There's a shot where he's like all serious and like he looks like a JoJo character. He's just very serious looking.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some Gundam references in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And with that we have I guess the other team's kind of the academy's kind of chilling out in their room, and like a guy walks in saying he looked at the list of people fighting, and a name pops up named Inose Junya, and they all start freaking out that, oh, his name, like he's this known fighter. And I guess he fought the
Hmm.
other big guy in their team and got second place and beat him, so he got first. So I guess there's a rivalry between these two characters we'll be seeing later on.
Yeah, and that's not even the other guy that we've been seeing in the show. That's from another country.
Right. And the blonde kid, yeah, from Britain, whatever. And so the next day that happens, the tournament's starting, and obviously the main team's a little behind because Sakai lacks his sleep, and he made them be late a little bit, but they rushed in at the right time, and they see Mirai walk out on stage, and the stadium
Hmm.
like lights up because I guess she has this aura about her that is all the guys are just instantly attracted
Yeah,
to her.
and then everybody's in love.
Right, and Hoshino kind of jabs at you that you've got all these rivals now. He's like, oh crap, no. And it was pretty funny, like you said, all these like love, I guess, GN particles, maybe out of love for her. So it's kind of funny. These particles flood the area, and yeah, they're all like, oh my god, it's so nice.
Hmm.
And I guess maybe the outfit and voice kind of also help. The outfit especially.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
And just
yeah,
Mirai's general, it is kind of strange to think about though. Like it's just like a high school girl,
right, and she's probably
or
just
like
like
yeah,
bunch of nerds.
yeah.
And yeah, so her job is to basically push a button and I guess randomize the team setup, and obviously, like cheesiness of Gundam build fight. Obviously, the Tri-Fighters are up first in front of everybody.
Yeah, very first match.
Yeah, against Team Amorpheus, which is a strange name. I was thinking they're gonna be using animals or something, or maybe they're gonna combine into one Gundam, but no, they're
Hmm.
just random Gundam players just
Yeah,
kind of hanging
and
out. It's weird.
they built it up not enough to where it seemed ridiculous that they would so easily beat him, but they said like, oh, they were in the Elite Eights the last year of the tournament, kind of making it like, oh, they might be tough opponents, but maybe not.
Right, yeah. They're like, oh, they got first place in that division and all this, and they're a bunch of scrubs, honestly, Because Tri-Fighters come out there and just, without breaking a sweat, just reveal their new Gunpla, which they even changed the names on. Hoshino is now the Star Winning Gundam. Yu is now the Lightning Gundam Full Burn, which is a weird name. And
Yeah,
Sekai is the Tri-Burning Gundam, which makes more sense than the old version for him.
the
So,
old burning.
yeah,
Mhm.
like, you just switch the words around, but it's fine.
By the way, when I watch these episodes on YouTube,
Uh-huh.
and when they have the commercial for the build burning that plays after the opening,
Uh-huh.
that is the loudest commercial ever.
Yeah,
I always feel like my volume is up way too high.
yeah, I end up like muting that part or skipping it. It is very loud. And they show it off.
But anyway,
But yeah, but anyway, they just wreck Team Morpheus like it's nothing. They just even showing off all their flashy moves, and I was just like thinking to myself, wouldn't you save that for a little bit later against a team that's harder to beat? No, not showing everybody your I guess your cards basically, and they're just like, nope, we're going for it, and Sekai just starts off with shooting the Phoenix like it's nothing. I'm like, wow, I would think you would save it, but whatever.
yeah, and to perfect it so quickly.
Right, yeah, after a few days of training, or I don't know, it's weird, but it was funny just seeing that how fast they won, and just seeing, I guess, the speed that they won, even when the extras here is, I guess his suit is faster than Trans Am, which if anyone knows Gundam Double O, Trans Am's like the big speed boost of that series. So if you have that, you're pretty much
Yeah.
unstoppable.
Uh-huh. But yeah, you at his basic form is faster than Trans Am, which is just absurd and, totally caught that guy off guard.
Yeah, and then Sakai comes in with his new attack and just obliterates him. So he just beat two people. Hoshino, I don't think she did anything. I think she did beat one. She has funnels now instead of I guess basics, so she can use funnel systems and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And last thing, it even had the opening playing while you was fighting was pretty cool. I had to rewatch that scene because it was just really fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it is fun when they're, when they're winning, of course, but when they're dominating like this, there's something, just very enjoyable about that.
Right, yeah, just rolling the other team like it's nothing. So it's pretty funny. And the last thing is Mirai's new outfit. Again, she was just not really a highlight, but interesting moment when just seeing the characters just react to her. This is funny. And like you said, she's just a regular high schooler, but obviously the design helps a lot.
Yeah, obviously has all the boys' attentions.
Right. I was even expecting some of the girls to react too, because she seems to be a character that would appeal to both. I would think,
Yeah.
just because how she is and everything.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of this episode?
It was a fun episode, and I'm glad that we are what I have to assume is going to be the final, 10 episodes of this series as we go through the national tournament. We're going to see a lot of teams, going to see a lot of action, a lot of great animation that I've seen so far from Build Fighters Try, and it, the Tri Fighters team, they look very impressive now with their new Gundams, and I expect them. Not every match is going to be easy ride, just like this first one, but I'm anxious to kind of see what else they have up their sleeve.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too, and I'm interested in seeing what kind of mini games to do, because season 1 was big on that. They had the tournament like a free for all, and that's how they limited the teams down to like, I guess, 4 teams at the end. So they had this giant free for all battle, which was like one of the best episodes, I think, ranging from like range fights to melee fights to all kinds of just goofy battles. Even going so far as to giving characters certain weapons, like a fake rubber hammer for a weapon, and they had to use that, or making them play baseball. Just things like that was funny in the first season. So I wonder if they're going to do that, or maybe they're going for a more rushed approach that we just want to get to the fights and show it off instead of just building up to it. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the other fights besides the Build Fighters. I like them, but I want to see what else everyone else can do to give kind of other people a focus too here and there. And next week, I think I remember seeing a shot that is this weird like Voltron robot they fight next week. It's like a bird, a lion, and something else that combined into one Gundam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's very weird.
that is one thing about the show, is that you have to stay past the credits because they show stuff like that in Minato. It's really funny.
Yeah, they have that, and there's like Minato's gonna be controlling that one. Like I said, a Voltron type, maybe Megazord type thing. It's very weird, but it works. I mean, why not? And that's pretty much been Gundam. I guess we'll talk about Cross Range here. Time for Cross Range, episode 16. Resonant Battlefront. This episode kind of followed with I guess, Ange and Tusk are finally, being accepted by the Dragon people. And so, I guess they're gonna finally kind of live with them for now, instead of being prisoners. But Rizzy, the girl from, I guess, Earthside, who's with the prince, or was, I guess she was a agent for the Dragon people. They sent her over there to, I guess, find information on where the Dragon Aura was, and they found out the Aura is actually under the Mitsurugi Kingdom, and that's I guess they've been using it. The dragon is like a power source, like I said last week, that basically that's where the mana comes from on the Earth side. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, but yeah, we see more with her later on. I guess they're starting to set this big war or plan to get Aura back, so that's what they're gonna do. And Ange wakes up in another room, and she's kind of with Tusk, who's tied up inside that. I guess he won't do anything to her at night, which again kind of comes off as kind of goofy and silly, because last week or 2 weeks ago, yeah, Ange and Tess were about, to seal the deal between them two, but now they're not, so it's kind of weird that happened. And, so, I guess Salamonde is going to show Ange around, and make her used to the area, but instead it turns into this big challenge between the two characters. I guess a set of mini games, which is kind of weird that they have time to do this kind of silly thing, but you know what? This Ange are going to do what they want to do. And I mean, before that, they kind of saw a scene with Vivian and her mom kind of eating, and Ange was afraid to eat anything because all the food's probably poison. But Salamander's like, no, we wouldn't do that. And anyway, they go to the stadium that is pretty weird that they rebuilt the whole thing. And I guess the building is 500 years old. And they're able to restore it to back to its full condition, which is kind of weird, but maybe they'll explain how they were able to do that, but I don't think they will, but maybe, we'll see. But basically challenge her to a set of mini games where they play, let's see, they play like golf, baseball, tennis, all different kind of sports, even going to try to play Twister. And the two of them are kind of competitive going against each other, and these scenes are kind of more comical, in my opinion, than serious, because again, this is just a way to build a friendship between these two characters. And the Twister part, I guess it was kind of funny there, the laying about, and Salamonde's using her tail to get into some of the spots, the color spots, and Ange kind of gets mad at her and bites her tail. That was kind of funny, just seeing that. And Salamonde turns from this strong, kind of serious character to this goofy little character, where she would feel upset or embarrassed that Ange would go that far to bite her tail. So I mean, it was kind of funny. I would admit I laughed, but yeah, that was just, like I said, a way to build a friendship between these two characters. And before they can do any more challenging things, and I forgot to mention also, the challenge was to, if Ange won, she would get her freedom back. If she lost, she had to become Salamonde's like servant or follower, and that kind of is on hold for now because they got interrupted by an earthquake / dimensional portal, which appeared that and started like it's warping the area, combining her world and the dragon world together, and it trapped a bunch of people in like these buildings. So this quake did kill a bunch of people this time, and almost came close to killing Vivian's mom, but they managed to rescue her. And I guess Ange comes with a goofy plan to use her machine to open the portal, but they're gonna use it like it did in the first time they fought, when they both others hit with the Salamonde's weapon. It would interrupt the portal and stop it. And so they try this, and Salmon is just not too sure about this idea, but she goes along with it anyway. And it works up to the point where Ange is able to repair her machine by using song. And I'm guessing that's how they restored the stadium. Maybe they can sing a certain type of song and it restores technology, or something like that. I'm not too sure, but that's why I'm guessing right now, because Ange, like I said, she was singing the song and fully repaired her machine like it was nothing. So it makes me wonder, what is the real power of the song, how are they able to do this and whatnot. And those, they save the day, and both of them kind of, I guess somebody kind of drops the bet between them and just realize that they need to trust each other and build a mutual agreement on taking out Embryo. Because Ange, in her point of view, she doesn't want to fight with someone else telling her to fight. She wants to do it on her own without being told what to do, which is fine. I still kind of roll my eyes at that, because it's like, you both have the same enemy. Why don't you guys just team up and fight and get rid of them? But I know Ange is just kind of thick-headed character, that she doesn't think like that. She doesn't want to be told. Wants to do it herself, which is fine. So, these two kind of are getting close, and the whole episode is kind of this theme of Ange kind of screwing up Salamonde's name. So she just was like, I'm just gonna call you Anko because it means red bean, because your tail is red, whatever. And Salamonde's kind of like, what? Kind of confused that she's being called. Well, actually, I changed the name. Sorry, Salako was the name of Salamonde's nickname, because saying her full name is confusing. Well, Salamonde's just gonna call Ange Anka, which makes no sense because Ange is kind of easy to say, but whatever. Extras from the episode. Mini games are fun. I like those moments. They're pretty funny. The other one, the Vilkas can repair itself through song, which is weird. Ange doesn't want to be told to fight, exactly like I said, but she wants to do it herself, which is kind of silly. But I get it. She wants to do it her own self, and she's trying to show everyone that, oh, I'm strong, I can do it myself. And pretty much that's been Cross Ange. I mean, not very much is going on. They're setting up this war that they're going to be focusing on next week between Embryo and the Dragon Forces. So, hoping they get through that without having to have any comical, hilarious Tusk moments with her. Maybe they can say that for a little bit later near the end, which I'm perfectly fine with. If they want to do that, but during this stuff right now, I don't think it's the appropriate time to have a goofy Tusk, moment between Ange and between these two characters. So, anyway, this is Mechanorn. See you guys next week for another stirring episode of mechs and stuff. Bye.